not just equality, but to be better.
Okay,
so that, hey, we can be better leaders.
You're arguing that some feminists or a lot of feminists, maybe the most preeminent feminists, are actually looking for superiority, not just equality. Okay, that's one idea.
I think the most feminists are like bitches.
Okay, she says that people think that feminists are bitches. Yeah, go ahead. People go to, they think that feminists are too far against the social norm.
Is it being feminist to let my wife make the big decisions and do what she wants and not try and piss her off?
He's asking, is it feminist if he's letting his wife make the big decisions? What do you guys think? Is that a feminist type of thing to do? Making his wife happy? Got one more hand over here.
Well, I think it's similar to the fact that whenever I tell my friends and family that I'm going to gay rights after this, they look at me as if I myself am gay, which, you know, I'm not. Obviously, I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I think it's well spent, and like, feminist, I'm a man. Like, kind of like, not to the point of keeping the ground kind out, but I mean, that's just like the like general consensus of men. It's like, you know, and I didn't even raise my hand because I felt that, you know, I guess I would be sweet Irish and I did my time. But I mean, it's kind of like, we don't want to say it because it's like,
so maybe it gets kind of at this idea of affecting your sense of manhood.
yeah.
Okay. That's an interesting thought. Take just a couple more hands on this because I think y'all are very interested in this.
I guess I always thought that feminism was more political view. And so in my mind it's always been that like you've already established that women and so I always thought feminists was someone that was kind of like forsake their other role.
Okay, so he's saying that this idea of feminism is more political and that feminists are trying to get away from their biological role. But we got to remember how much of our biological role is actually made up culturally. Okay, don't forget that. Remember that we are a lot more similar than we are different. Go ahead.
I think that feminism is fundamentally an activist group, and so to say, you know, I'm feminist, that means that you're advancing the power of women, you're empowering women. And so in this day and age, I think that most people just have this kind of idea, well, women are powerful enough, you know, there's not that big of a gender gap anymore. And when you look at this group, people aren't going to say, you know what, I'm an activist for feminist empowerment, because people in groups like this are going to be passive. They're not going to want to express a strong activist opinion.
Okay, so he's saying that feminists are inherently activists and that people in a group like this would be kind of shy about coming out and being an activist, except for this young woman right here. Is the exception. How about the argument that every woman in here is a feminist in some way? Okay, she's saying that she's not actively trying to get the same things as men, but you are sitting in this classroom, right?
I'm saying I do want
Yeah.
something, but I'm not like going out and pushing for it. You know?
You're not pushing for it, but at the same time you are paying for a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
Where some people would argue by the very fact that so many of the people in this classroom are women, that on some level that might make you kind of feminist.
I'm not like, you know,
You're not out there holding a sign and picketing.
you know, like I don't want my right.
Yeah, okay. We'll take like one more and then we're gonna move on, okay?
Just to kind of go along with her comment, and no offense to the girl in the front row, but I think, in my view, the feminists are the quote-unquote bitches.
Oh, honesty.
You know, but they're the women that are out there with the picket signs and everything. If you want to be a feminist and you support, you know, feminist rights or whatever, and you want to go out and be with men, go out and do it. That's awesome. But don't shove it in everybody's face.
Okay, so he's saying, okay, we'll let you counteract it. Then we're gonna move on to the specific theories. Okay, you'll get your point and then we're gonna go on.
Okay, women are raped all the time by 95% of like men.
Men are raped
we have to remember that there are different feminists. I'm going to go with your point. She's saying that all feminists are not created equally. You're right. Okay? So, I'm bringing y'all back. Focus. Focus. Come on. Look at me. Hang on. All right, we're going to talk about the specific feminist theories now. Okay, first one. Liberal feminist theory. What does a liberal feminist argue? What does a liberal feminist argue? Go ahead.
The whole system is keeping women down. We have a tradition of patriarchy in this country, and that prevents women from being able to advance. We don't have laws in place to ensure equality, and we need to be able to enact laws such as the Equal Rights Amendment, stuff like that, so that we can overcome this patriarchy in society and be able to have a greater degree of equality.
Okay, so he's saying that there's been kind of a history of patriarchy in our society and lots of different parts of the world, and that a lot of liberal feminists focus on making changes to laws to try and ensure different kinds of equality for women. So an example of this would be the Equal Rights Amendment, which we will be talking about. Okay, so an example of liberal feminist that I found is Benny Friedan. You don't have to know anything specific, I just thought if you were interested, you can look more into one of these different theories. So what would a socialist feminist say? Yeah.
Would she call like Marxist London thought where it's capitalism, it's men who control it, and you're oppressing women?
You're right. I think that socialist feminists and Marxist feminists really kind of go hand in hand in a lot of ways. And this idea that it is capitalism. And remember how we were talking about how women are devalued, and so they're used as for cheap labor.
Another quick question.
Yeah.
What do you do to like change? I mean, to me it seems a lot like a race issue where there's not much that I, as a white guy living in northern Utah, can do about this.
Okay, so he's asking.
Like, what can be done to fix the problems that are out there?
So he's asking, what can we do to fix the problems that are out there? He feels like, as a white guy in Utah, that he doesn't have a lot of power to change that. And we will get to that. So hang on to that thought. Go ahead.
It's more like a question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how people something actually see version where the woman that he has power positions more organized and the men are staying at home.
Interesting.
Because
And you said you're from Brazil? Okay, so he's saying that in Brazil, they're actually seeing a reversal of this, where the men are the ones staying home and taking care of the kids, and the women are the ones going out and getting the high-powered positions. So that's something to think about and to take into consideration. Why is it that some countries this is actually happening, where there is this kind of there's this big flip, whereas in the United States that's not happening to the same degree? Okay, so everyone got a pretty clear idea what a socialist feminist is. Go ahead.
I got a quick question. Like, when you say women are used to cheap labor, is that based on the world or is that from the United States? Because when I think about that here in the U.S., I don't see how that's necessarily possible. Or maybe I'm just not exposed to open a job where women don't get higher salaries. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
well, let's remember about how men and women have traditionally held different jobs. Who gets paid more, a nurse or a doctor?
Well, that's the position. That's dependent on gender.
But at the same time, when you do a comparison of someone with the same education, the same experience, the same time on the job, all these different things, they're still finding that on average, women make about 73 to 75 cents on the dollar for every dollar the guy makes.
So if I went to a doctor's office for a female doctor and I had a female nurse, could I start saying, well, hey, I'm not going to pay as much as her? I'm not going to